Speaking on behalf of the special guest of honor, President John Dramani Mahama, the Chief of Staff, Dr. Julius Deborah, has commended the leadership of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana for its determination and commitment to the growth and development of the church. Dr. Julius Deborah also extended President Mahama's goodwill to the Presbyterian Church of Ghana and wished the church success as it prepares to celebrate its bicentennial anniversary. The goodwill message was delivered during the presentation of the decisions of the 26th General Assembly by the moderator, Right Reverend Dr. Abraham Nanopa Ekwache.
The moderator of the General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, the clerk of the General Assembly, former moderators and clerks of the General Assembly, ministers and commissioners of the church, honorable members of parliament, our regional minister, Nananum, members of the diplomatic corps here present, distinguished guests, my dear brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Even though moderator had admonished us to be careful with expressions like powerful preaching, I must admit that indeed I'm tempted to acknowledge that your preaching this morning was very powerful. I must also commend the church for the team chosen for this year's assembly, celebrating our heritage. And to be very honest with you, as a student of heritage studies, what it takes to sustain a church for almost 200 years is not an easy tribe. And so I must commend the leadership of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana and to wish you well as you are closer to celebrate 200 years. Managing human institutions is not easy. You've not disintegrated it, but you are determined to build upon the foundation that was laid. Some gatherings recall the history we inherited. Others ask what kind of history we will leave. This General Assembly does both. It is a joy and privilege to join you at this divine service marking the 26th General Assembly. I come on behalf of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, who would have wished to worship with you today. He sends his sincere apologies for his unavoidable absence. Warm regards and deep appreciation to the moderator, the clerk, and the church for this gracious invitation to historic Ramsey congregation. I must also say that in my language, there's something we say, whilst I was seated, I was just reflecting when the moderator was preaching, and he was talking about the inshallah aspect and our responsibility. I believe if the president were to be here, he would have used a diplomatic way to present it. Once I get back, the president is going to ask, Julius, na abiti fiye ko say, Mr. Say, wadaruma eko iyo, na nso say, adie bi yo ha, esasi eko edie. We gather under a theme that is both an affirmation and summons, celebrating our heritage, building on the foundations already laid. In 1 Corinthians 3:11, the Apostle Paul reminds us that no one can lay any foundation other than Jesus Christ. It is the living ground on which every generation must build with faith, discipline, courage, and service. Heritage is what we preserve, improve, and faithfully hand over to the next generation. A nation, like a church, is always under construction. Each generation receives unfinished work. History will ask whether we strengthen it with integrity and serve those who come after us. For generations, the Presbyterian Church of Ghana has helped to build our nation. Through evangelism, education, healthcare, agriculture, publishing, and social service, it has shown that faith must bear public fruit. a school, a clinic, guidance for the young, comfort for the bereaved, and a moral voice for the nation. We honor all whose sacrifices laid this foundation: missionaries, catechists, teachers, nurses, ministers, elders, women, men, and young people. Many worked without applause, planting trees under whose shade they might never sit.